How much pain can a person carry before the law intervenes? This case examines the revocation of probation for Roy Drevis, who was charged with reckless driving and subsequently failed drug tests. The court heard a plea petition regarding his probationary status in the state of Georgia versus Roy Rodriguez, Lee Robinson case.
We're stipulating to the facts and accepting the recommendation of probation.
Next is Joseph Chartrand Walsh. That is a petition.
Yes, Your Honor. So my client has this.
You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give will be true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. You're before the court on State of Georgia versus Roy Rodriguez Lee Robinson, 2022 CR 01103. Petition for revocation for probation. You were before this court on the 14th day of July 2025 for reckless driving and sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 2 months and 29 days remaining. You failed to avoid injurious and vicious habits. You tested positive for cocaine on March 18th, 2026, and you failed to pay $460 in arrears. Ms. Tortorello is representing you. Ms. Tortorello, what's going on?
Yes, Your Honor. So before this incident on the case here, the DUI case that he's on this before this court for violation of probation, he lost his son died in 2020. So he was going through grief, and then his wife then passed in 2022, and a close friend of his passed in 2024. So unfortunately, my client decided to rely on substances to make the pain go away. He is a veteran, Your Honor, and he's already taken steps. He's gone to the VA and has signed up for grief counseling. And he is going to go ahead and go through the VA as well and sign up.
What's going on, Mr. Robinson?
Yes, ma'am, Judge. I just was in a lot of pain, and I just didn't want to hurt no more. And because what sent me over on the anniversary of my son's death on March the 4th this year, one of my coworkers that trained me, he ended up just having a heart attack after me dropping him off, and then the next day I found out about that. And it was a dumb mistake, Your Honor. And but I addressed it after. I called the VA crisis line and everything to get me set up with grief counseling. Because when my son passed away, I didn't really have a chance to grieve because my wife took it so hard. Then when she passed, I had to turn around because I got a 13-year-old daughter. And so, I just never had a chance to really grieve. And then more stuff kept piling on. And as of right now, I have
Where's
a
your
son
daughter
here.
now?
My daughter is with her godmother. That's who helps me when I'm at work. And then, she's got guardianship over her also. So
your daughter lost her mother, her
which was my
brother.
wife. Yes.
And
And now
her-
we have her one of, okay.
No, go ahead.
And now I have a son that got arrested here last year. He's been here, no bond or nothing, and he's got a newborn and another daughter. So I'm like, I had to take the load for that too. So it just a lot came at me. I'm like I said, I did wrong just to kind of ease some of the pain, and then I got my mind back right. I haven't touched nothing. I did anything. I went back to work. I did my classes. I paid, and I mean, what I got left looked like $600 and some. I can pay that Thursday when I get paid. I'm getting back on track, but I am definitely ashamed of what I did. But I just was hurting, Your Honor.
Let me ask you a couple questions. So your daughter, is she involved with Kate's Kids?
With what, Your Honor?
Okay, so there's an organization for children who have lost parents and people who are significant to them. It's a grief organization for kids. And it's not like sit around and talk, but it is an organization that allows kids to process grief in a way that they can meet other children who are going through the same thing. They can have counseling, they can have activities that sort of help them process the grief. If your daughter is 13 and has had this amount of significant loss in her life, and she's living with a person who is like family, but she doesn't have you there every day. Investigate getting her involved with a local chapter of Kate's Kids, Kate apostrophe S Kids, and see if you can find a chapter. I know that in Georgia, I know that there's a chapter, I believe in DeKalb, but there may be one here also or close by where she resides with her godmother. Please, please do that, because just like you went through pain and you didn't get immediately into grief counseling because you were trying to help your wife deal with the grief of your son's loss. A lot of times people think kids are resilient and, well, she'll get over it, she's young. But those narratives, we now know that kids suffer the same or more than adults, but they don't have a place to put that.
Yes,
you get
ma'am.
it?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
please get her into, if it's not Kate's Kids, find something for her to process her grief.
Okay, we have her. She's going to Eagles Landing Christian Academy, and we've assigned her with a counselor and everything. So she's, you know, we definitely made that a priority for now.
Okay,
But I would
good.
definitely like to look into the
Yeah, please do,
opportunity.
because
I
it's
definitely will.
I found out about it when a friend's daughter lost her father. And you know, I read about it and I was like, oh, this is a really good organization, but not a lot of people know about it. So yeah, look that up. I know we have chapters in Georgia, and it just made, you know, as much as she's in a great school and she has a counselor, not every kid in that school is gonna know her experience or be able to help her manage her experience. Whereas every kid in Kate's Kids is going to know that experience. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
for you, so it is important for you, Mr. Robinson, that you stay ahead of the, you know, the grief. It will sometimes overwhelm you. It will be like you're fine one day, and then the next day it will come charging back in. But if you keep connections to your grief counselors and to the resources at the VA, because we appreciate your service, but we also know, and trust me, I hate every day that the VA is not the stellar program that it should be for
Yes.
all of the veterans. My mom's a veteran, so I've dealt with the VA for her. And I so wish that it was so much more than what it is. And it is more because of what you all deserve as veterans. And so, but they do have programs that will address these things. Like you said, you called the crisis line. I'm so glad you did that. So I appreciate that. But please try and make sure that you prioritize getting your, making sure you continue to prioritize your daughter and her dealing with her grief. Now, listen, how old is your son who's in jail?
24.
Do you feel like you raised him properly?
I did, Your Honor. I think I did too much.
Yeah, because I find that a lot of parents nowadays, when I ask the parent, okay, well, when did you get out of the house and get out of your own? I get answers starting from 15, 16, 17, 18. I was out on my own doing my thing. But I think now parents are thinking, oh, well, if I hold on to them a little longer, if I help them a little bit more. And a lot of times that makes kids dependent upon us and unresponsible. They're not responsible for themselves. And when they get pushed out of the nest, they have a harder time being responsible. Now, all of these things being said, your son is having his own grief journey.
Yes, ma'am.
But other than offering the support that you can offer, his journey is not your journey. He is 24 years old. He is fully an adult. You raised him properly. The choices he's making, you can point out that those are not the right choices. Those are not the choices he should make in line with how he was raised. But, you know, other than telling him there are resources out there, that's not your burden to bear. And I know that's hard to say as a parent because I'm a parent, but you sometimes have to put the life jacket on yourself before you can save somebody else. Because what do you look like drowning trying to save him?
Correct.
Put the life jacket on yourself
Yes, ma'am.
before you can save somebody else. Get yourself together before you can save him.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
your true priority is that 13-year-old who you're trying to get her to that next level. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what's the recommendation?
Your Honor, probation recommends that 6 days be revoked, credit for time served, return to probation. and drug test each report and attend one community support meeting per week.
All right. Mr. Robinson, grief counseling, counts for community support, substance abuse, cessation, stopping substance abuse classes, those count for the community support. So any of those classes is, you know, whether you do them through the VA or outside the VA, those will count, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's make sure we do that. So I'm gonna accept your stipulation. I'm gonna return you to probation with 6 days credit for time served. You're going to test for illegal substances and alcohol at each report. You will take one community support meeting per week, but if you feel like you need to do more, do more. But make sure you keep a record of it. And then, like I said, you'll return to probation. All right?
Okay. I have
Okay.
one question, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Can I do like those virtually or online because my work?
I don't care how you do them.
Okay,
If
cool.
they provide it
That's enough.
virtually, you don't have to go in person. Sometimes you can speak more freely if you're in your own home and, you know,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
able
That's fine.
to relax. So if you do it virtually, if they provide that, then that's fine with me.
Okay.
As long as you go, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Robinson.
Oh, yes,
That's
ma'am.
what I care
Yes, ma'am.
about, that
Oh,
you
yes, ma'am.
attend.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
All right. All right. And I am so sorry for all the loss that you have suffered. Sometimes it seems like it's heaped on one person, you know, at particular points in your life, but you still standing.
Yes, ma'am.
You still standing. And so just continue to do those things that you know are necessary to keep you moving forward.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to accept
Your-
yes.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh,
For his next appointment to report,
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Robinson, if you'll report on Thursday, April the 16th at 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. So you go back to the sheriff's office.
Your Honor, that's all I have this morning. May I be excused? Or this
Yes, ma'am.
afternoon?
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, raise your right hand for me, sir. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
All right, you can put your hand down. Who do I have in front of me?
Jamario Dorsey, Judge.
All right, Mr. Dorsey, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Jamario D. Dorsey, 2026 CR C04393 for criminal trespass. Mr. Lynch, what is your client plead to the offense before the court?
He asked the court accept a no contest plea.
All right, by entering a plea of nolo, sir, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reason.
When a defendant is on probation, they are essentially on a conditional release, meaning they must follow specific rules to maintain their freedom. Failing those conditions, like testing positive for drugs or missing payments, gives the prosecution grounds to ask the court to revoke that probation, which can lead to jail time.
Reasonable doubt. Ready on. Johnson has 3 cases. And did y'all need me in that conference?
I guess I could talk to the state first, and then we talk to you.
Oh, okay, I'll put you in a breakout room at the appropriate time. J.E. Robinson?
Judge,
Yes.
Yes, I'm prepared to go forward on that plea, Judge, and then I have another announcement. When
Okay, let's bring up Robinson. Miss Wentz, what did you have, ma'am? You have a question?
Sorry, Your Honor. Was
No
Miss
problem.
Dorsey's plea nolo?
Dorsey. Yeah, that was a no.
Okay, thank you.
James Earl Robinson. Yeah, you're talking to this microphone. No, just stand right where you are. I'm gonna take a step this way.
All right. This is Mr. James Earl Robinson. Is that
Judge.
correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Robinson, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
Judge accepts the stipulation from the defense and returns Roy Robinson to probation, granting him 6 days credit for time already served. He must now comply with stricter terms, including mandatory drug testing at every report and attending one community support meeting weekly. The court specifically noted that grief counseling qualifies as fulfilling the community support requirement. This case highlights the judicial ability to balance punitive measures with human circumstances. While drug use violates probation terms, the judge showed discretion by acknowledging the defendant's severe personal trauma. The law often allows for mitigating factors to influence how strictly the rules are enforced. Subscribe now to see how the legal system responds to life's toughest challenges.